This daf Yerushalmi Yoma, the article owes edition. We're starting top mamish of Tesvav Amarav, Mr. Bishma Bar Yitzchak, and in the Vilna that is on the top of Yud Aleph on the base. Third word in, as opposed to the first word in the page. Mr. Bishma Bar Yitzchak Amar Shem and Tzarech Dishon. The difficulty that Bishma Bar Yitzchak raises tells us that oil requires Dishon, has to be cleaned out each day of the menorah and filled up from scratch. How so? Because Rishon Bar Yitzchak asked. We know that the Mishnah tells us that every day they would put in half a log of oil in each one of the receptacles of the menorah. So Rishon Bar Yitzchak asked, on the first day of Tevis, which is the season of Tevis, which is the shortest days of the year, you fill up the shortest day of the year, when they're changing the season from fall to winter. So the winter solstice. So you're filling up with chatzi log l'chol ner. And the same thing on those in summer solstice, the first day of the summer season. You're going to fill up the summer solstice. You're going to fill up half a log for each candle. Now, if you every day you just topped off, you wouldn't have a question. So each day you top off, and then the balance is out. But his question is, why we do a half a log on each candle? Obviously, they're filling up from scratch every day. So it must be that we have to be medashen. We have to remove the old oil and wick and put in a new oil and wick. So we see clearly there's a dishon every day. So what now brings down Rabbi Yosa? A lot of people learn that Rabbi Yosa is coming to the Gemara coming now to say that no, there's no raya from that statement of Rabbi Yitzchak that you have to do dishun every day. But the Pnei Moshe and based on Moshe Levi Yerushalmi and the art scroll as well don't seem to learn that way, and they seem to learn that he's coming to specifically refute Rabbi Yitzchak's, or I should say resolve Rabbi Yitzchak's question, his issue. He also agrees that there requires dishun every day, right? And Rabbi Yitzchak's question implies they need dishun, perhaps. But the question is, okay, but so how do you make sure there isn't leftover oil? They don't want there to be leftover oil in the morning, and then that's why we're putting the same amount in the winter and in the summer. So Rabbi Yosef said, if from there there's no, if the fact there's a chatzi log in the summer, chatzi log in the winter, that's not going to necessarily leave us any excess oil. Why? Ben Bavi al Pakia. Ben Bavi was in charge of Pakia. What is Pakia? Shemizayig is a psilos. He used to pair the psilos. So my cousin Alfred learns Kipshuto that he used to make the way they made thick tfilos is they used to pair a bunch of thin wicks and make a thick wick. But there are other there's other ways of learning. I think there's even another girsa here somewhere. Instead of mizayeg, but I don't see it offhand right now. I thought I saw another girsa. Maybe he brings it down in the offer Yerushalmi. But the other one is that he used to mizayeg means he used to find the wick which is appropriate. In other words, the Pnei Moshe Yeshua has a girsa mimazik is a psilos, means mimazik means to mix them together properly. So you used to mix the thickness of the wick. But it also could mean that he picked the appropriate wick. So therefore, in the winter they use a thinner wick, so it would burn. It would burn longer, and in the summer use a thicker wick, so it would burn shorter, right? Because more intense. So therefore, there was never any oil. There was very little oil left over in the morning that they had to deal with because they made sure to make the wicks the proper length. Okay, so now we go on to another issue. Hacha Adamar. Here you say, Meitir Charkach Maktir. So the Hacha says Karmeida. Parach Hacha Meitir Charkach Maktir. At the time, B'tchilas Pais Sheni. The Tchil Sheni. It says the second Pais. Mi Medashin es Menorah. Who does the Dishun? That's the second Pais. And this is Pais Shlishi Chadoshim B'Koros B'Hafis. So this is the third Pais. They did Chadoshim B'Koros, right? So v'hachat Omar, here it says makdir chakach meitiv. So it says the coordinator per kama. The first parak who makdir saktor by the kohen gadol, who makdir saktores, umati meitiv aneros. He does the ktoros and then the neros. Mash ktoros paresha. So it says the ktoros comes first. Well, the neros and then neros. V'kashin adoris. They contradict each other. So the article points out that according the Hatavas Chamesh Neros, according to everybody, came first before the Ktoros. The question is then, what was it, Ktoros and then Hatavas Neros, or Hatavas Neros and Ktoros? So really, the question is on the second Hatava, right? On the second two candles. Okay, so the contradiction. So Gemara says that Rabbi Yochanan said Tamid the B'Shem Isha Mitzvah. The order of Mesachas Tamid is the order of B'Shem Isha Mitzvah, Isha Mitzvah, and that the which is which. Like our Mishnah, Neros and Ktores is the same Mishnah as Maseches Tamid, and Maseches Shem Isha Mitzvah. Rabbanan argue, and the first parak which says is that you did the Hatavas Neros first parak which said that Makdir Ktores umat the Ktores Bereisha and then Neros. That's like Rabbanan. So according to Rabbi Eliezer B'Shimon, you did the Hatavas Chamesh, Hatavas Shtei, and then Ktores, and that's our Mishnah and the Mishnah Maseches Tamid. And according to Rabbanan, you did Hatavas Chamesh, then the Ktores, then the Hatavas Shtei, and that's the Mishnah in the first parak. And what it says, Amar Rabbi Yaakov Barach Lo Kula. Not all Maseches Tamid is unique to Shem Isha Mitzvah, right? Elam Milin Tzrichin Rabbanan, or things which are difficult to Rabbanan that they seem to contradict each other. We say that goes Mishnayos and Tamid is going like Rabbi Shimon, but other things where there's no contradiction, then the Maseches Tamid is also going according to Rabbanan, not just according to Shimon Isha Mitzvah. And Pnei Moshe gives an example of one of these things, but if you want to see the example, look at Pnei Moshe inside. It's not related directly to our sugya. We have a similar principle, the Gemara says. Rabbi Chizkiah and Rabbi Achbar, Shem Ravo said, Midos. The Lez Ben Yaakov. Maseches Midos, the Lez Ben Yaakov, and if you find contradiction Midos and elsewhere in Shas, so then you should know that Midos, the Lez of Yaakov, and the rest of Shas could be going to Rabbanan. And again, the Gemara says, look cool, not necessarily all Maseches Midos. Elamilin, the Tzrichin Rabbanan, the things which are questionable going to Rabbanan, so therefore we say, that's the Lez of Yaakov, but the rest of the Mishnah is where there's no dispute that the Stam Mishnah is in Midos goes going to Rabbanan as well. So why does he hold that you do Hatava, and then Haktorah? Because Baboker, Beitivos and Neros Haktirano. So in the morning, so it sounds like Beitivos and Neros, when you finish doing the Hatavas and Neros, then afterwards only do the Ktoras, not in the middle between the Hatavas Chamesh Neros and Hatavas Shtei Neros. Rabbi Yacha, Rabbi Chaim Berevi said, Time of the Rabbanim, that's supposed to teach us the perspective of Rabbanim, that holds that Hatavas Shtei Neros comes last after the Ktoras. And with Hatavas Shtei Neros, obviously came the hadlaka, the lighting of the candles, right? So therefore, the Karachata, so change the girsa. Even though change the girsa, the same thing. We'll see it momentarily. Outside the parochas of the testimony, Ba'amoid, Yarochos Aaron Boka, Aaron and his children should arrange the candles from night to morning. The last thing to do, the Erev Habo from in the evening till the following morning is Hatavas Haneros. So China says Hadlakas Haneros. But it's the same, even with Hatava, I mean, it's leave Girs Hatava, it's because Hatava includes Hadlaka. So it means this should be the last thing done, and therefore it's done after the Ketores. So you don't do Hatava, Ketores, but rather Hatava, Ketores, Hatava. Rabbi Yochanan says, local pais Talmud Shemin Arbaim. There's no separate pais for Talmud Shemin Arbaim. I was talking, I mentioned it, right? El Amud, they said, Mishazach B'Shachar, Shemin Arbaim. It was like, it was Zoich in double. You got, where was merit in the morning, was Zoich in the afternoon. It says more, how can this be? Vatani, didn't we learn? Kipayush Shachar is Kach Payush Ben Arbaim. Just like I had pies in the morning, I had pies in the afternoon. Hazocha zochel atzmo, and whoever merited. This is not relevant. The last few three words of brisa not relevant to our question. The question already is from the Reish of the brisa. It says hazocha zochel atzmo, that whoever wins the pies can't be mechabed somebody else. He has to take it for himself. He's zochel for himself. Like Carmena says, the brisa shein kohen hazochel yochel amar chaveri ani nosei boda shezchisi bo. No, he has to do it. So, but in any case, it says here that there's a pies in the afternoon. So. Rabbi Chizishem B'Shem Rabbi Bun Barakana said, Tipoter, you're talking about a case, Shohaisa HaShabbos. You're talking about a case where it was Shabbos. I'm not sure we just say Tipoter B'Shabbos, but anyway, Shohaisa Shabbos, it happened in Shabbos. Echad Mishmar Abba, Echad Mishmar Yetzi, because you need two payosos, because the Mishmar serving in the afternoon is not the same Mishmar serving in the morning. So on Shabbos, they do two payosos, but on a weekday, whoever is Zerchel in the morning pious is Zerchel in the afternoon pious. Sorry, whoever was Zerchel in the morning pious, he was Zerchel in the afternoon. There was no second pious. Rabbi Yochanan says, "Lo gazu shnei gzirin b'shachris." Interesting language. I think it's like playing words there. Lo gazu shnei gzirin. They didn't decree shnei gzirin, but it means they didn't decree a separate pious. There's no separate pious for the shnei gzirin eitzim in the morning. Who did it? We'll see in a minute. But the Rabbi said, "Masnisa Omar Kain." The Mishnah indicates this because it says B'chol Yom. It says the next word Io, which is in the Vilna. I wonder if the article brings it down. Everybody takes it out. Takes it out. Takes out the whole words. B'chol Yom Io Karev, not just the word Io. So, if even though take that out the words, it's the same idea. The words of Chol Yom Karev, you read like this: Chol Yom Karev Ben Arbaim B'Chadasar. In Ben Arbaim, there are 11. It says that there were 11 kohanim, because and two of them would bring the two gzirim. But in the morning, below Mar B'Shachris Klum. It's so in the afternoon. It says that they. Two kohanim brought the two gzirim separately, but in the morning it doesn't mention the 11 kohanim, and there only were 9 kohanim. So that's the case. Who would bring it? So it must be that the person. I haven't saw my Gemara. I must have gotten this somewhere. That the people did the Chumas Adeshan, brought the two Gzirin. Yes, that place is in Menachos. There's a Menachos. The place starts at Peites and Beis. It goes on Tzadik Rav. It says that people brought the Chumas Adeshan. They were being the Shnei Gzirei Eitzim in the morning before the start of the Avodah. Oh, so all Mepharshim say they did the Shnei Gzirim in the morning. It was part of the Chumas Adeshan. Now, according to Rabbi Yochanan, I don't say anybody discussed this, but I think you have to say according to Rabbi Yochanan, who says only one pious. So there was no pious Ben Arbaim. So from the morning already, they knew who the Kohen would be, who would do the two Gezira at night. Right? So either it doesn't say either it was the same ones who did in the morning with the Trumas Hadeshen, and they did again in the evening, or there was two more guys who in the morning did nothing. In the afternoon they did the Shnei Gzirin. Okay, it's not the Gemara doesn't address it, but I'm assuming it was the same ones who did in the morning with the Trumas Hadash. But although no, because they brought it's not necessarily true because in the morning since the Shnei Gzirin was not done separately, the Farshim say here that even one coin could do the Shnei Gzirin in the morning. So I'm not sure, but it is the Kormei does bring down here the Tesis and Menachos, right? He says that so Shas says the Korban is calling. It says Lo Gazer Shnei Gzirin Shatei Shnei Kohanim El Kohen Azar B'Trumas Sadesh So Shnei Gzirin B'Shachris. So evidently they knew from the bias in the morning who would be the second one who would be doing it at night, or maybe the two of them were different ones in the evening. I see though that Pnei Moshe does want to say that there were no two Gzirin at all in the morning. Most unfortunately don't know that way. Most of the Testament Menachos that they did have two Gzirin in the morning. Just only one Kohen has to do it. They did it by the Truma, and they had to do the Truma Sadeshin with that Sasas Hamarechas, with the igniting the fire. In any event, as I said, the question is actually how the pious worked. All right, now Gemara says Rabbi Shimi boy, and Rabbi Shimon asked the question. Why was there no pious on Tuesday in the morning? Or my mother asked, Rabbi Shimon didn't Rabbi Shimon here? The Marabbi said, we just had this discussion, right? He said that the Mishnah tells us this. From what we just learned that we live 11 Kohanim in the afternoon, and but not in the morning. Well, only 9 Kohanim in the morning, right? So because of Amar, Amar came back and said, "In Dushmir." Yes, of course you heard that. Akin Shama Mila Makshila. He's like somebody heard something and has asked a question. He says, "Yeah, I understand." Rabbi Yochanan said, but instead, why it should be like that? But Shimi's question was, "V'amar in Dushmir Akin Shama Mila Makshila." Rabbi Shimi boy, Lama Gazer Shnei Gzim Ben Rabbi, V'lo Gazer Shnei Gzim Shachris. Why is it not separate? Two in the morning that they should be that there should be the additional quantity for the snakes in the morning, as well as the one in the afternoon. Okay, so we say in Talmud Shirabbayim there are 11 Kohanim, the 9 who brought the Talmud itself, and the 2 Yodim Shnei Gzirei. In the morning, as our Mishnah said, there were 13 Kohanim. And we mentioned them, and when we learned the Mishnah, we learned why there were 13, what additional things they were bringing. We mentioned Moshe says, that count included the chabitin and the yain shnosachim, etc. So Gemara is going back now to this count of 13. So Yukimul Zachimbo. V'tani lo, we're not saying this Pami Arbasar, saying there's 14. Pami Tezvav, Pami Tezayin lo Pachas lo Yoser. No more nor less. So the Gemara says Kedarka Batisha, but 9 is only the Talmud itself. Right, so therefore the Korban changed the Girsa. So we're going to go with the Girsa Korban, which puts in the rest of the numbers as well. Chag saying Kedarku b'Gimel. I'm reading the Korban. Kedarku b'Gimel norm way is 13. V'chag b'yad echad shel tzlochas shamayim, and Yontav, one of them holds the Nisach Hamayim water. And Dalit, that's 14. Besides the 13 mentioned in Mishnah, and Ben Arbaim Betezvav, and Ben Arbaim it would be 15. Wouldn't have the instead of the Talmud show, instead of the because after Shnei B'Yom Shnei Gzirei, the two which had the two Gzirei. So besides, we said in the afternoon was 11. As we said before, but that's again the Talmud itself plus the 2 Gzirei. But with the other stuff which brought in the Chavitin, etc., so it was altogether 14. 15. Ben Abayin Tezvav. Shnei B'Yom Shtei Gzirei. With Shabbos Tezvav, and Shabbos is 15. Shnei B'Yom Shtei B'Zichil Levana Shalachem Aponim. It was they had the 2 B'Zichil Levana, the 2 containers of Levana for the Lechem Aponim. Now going back to the morning, Talmud, so there's no Shnei Gzirei. So instead of Shnei Gzirei, so therefore he had the 2 who brought the Bazichei Levana. Okay, so the Shabbos Chag and Shabbos on Sukkot. So then in the morning Talmud there would be So the one of them would be holding the additional the Nisach Hamayim, that would be 16 altogether. And how do you know they bring the Chavitim in the morning to the Korban Talmud? Because it's Tivieno. That's Lashon by the Chavitim, and it means as soon as possible, right? Livnei Musafin, okay, before the Musaf. Ukshomer Takriv. when it says it says Masha Komakom Takriva Son Kamasha Shakdimu and Sochim Lechavitim. After Nesachim. It's after the Nesachim as well. So I guess only for the Ribi Akra, it's the word Takriv, if it says right to Vienna, I should really read the Pasuk. And it says with Vienna, why does it have to also say Takriv? That's the Russia. המחווה השם תעשה מורווחת תביינה תפניהם פחס ביתים תקריב ולך נראה השם. So it says Tibiana. Why is it Takriv? So Tibiana means you bring it as soon as possible, meaning with the Talmud Shachar, not after Musafin. Takriv means after Nesachim. Isai Tani Kolim Nesachim. Some say it's brought before Nesachim. Madamar Kolim is Nesachim, Kolim Nischei Yain. It's brought before the Nischei Yain. The Nesachim, part of it was wine. It's after the minchas, which are brought every day with the korban tamid. Why? Because solas chadem chavitim. The solas kinds of chavitim. Avish zelishim zelishin. Why? They both go completely on the mizbeach. They're both completely consumed by the fire. What's between one and the other? Zeh korban yachid, zeh korban tzibur. Because the korban yachid of the kohen gadol comes after the kohen tzibur of the menachos of the menachos of the korban tamid. Okay, that brings us to the end of the Amud on Tesson Base. So we'll stop here for today.